Hey y'all, Bloodwing here, back to bring some grumpiness to your internet, and welcome back to Redneck Radio, where today it's the live stream where you get an extra side helping of hamburgers, hot dogs, coleslaw, baked beans, and potato salad, and for dessert, a big slice of apple pie.
Yeah,
Yeah, because it's 4th of July, folks.
it is.
Yeah, it is. I've been hollering it on Twitter all day, just waiting for somebody to get annoyed.
Oh,
So I hope all my American friends out there are having a good Fourth, and even those that aren't American, I hope you're having a good day.
mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, it's the day we ugly Americans celebrate the birth of our tiny little annoying country.
Celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I've mentioned on Twitter before. A lot of people, you ask them what their favorite holiday is, they'll say Christmas or even Halloween or something like that. Mine's 4th of July. And
Why is your favorite the 4th of July?
well, one of the reasons is it gives me excuse to be that ugly American because I
Mm.
know that my patriotism annoys the crap out of the whole rest of the world and most of the leftists in my own country. So it gives me that reason to annoy all these people.
Mm-hmm. Has there been much pushback?
No,
No.
not for me anyway. Not for me. I've seen some with other people on Twitter, but nothing that's unaccept that I wasn't expecting.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't expecting, but no, seriously, it's my favorite because I'm very patriotic. I love my country. I totally buy into it's the best in the world. It's at least the best for me in the world. Can't think of a better another place I'd want to live. Uh, all jokes aside, when we kicked the Brits out, no offense, Bear.
Fine. I wasn't there.
When we kicked the Brits out, we were nothing much more than a tiny little country with just a bunch of common folk and farmers. And less than 200 years later, we're the world superpower. So that's, I'd say that's doing a good job.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you got there by being a bully, but
Well, and
yeah, he who dares wins.
yeah, yeah.
I'm only joking. Happy Independence Day
Yep.
to you, Mr. Bloodwing. And happy Independence Day to all the Americans out there. I hope you're having a lovely day today. And I hope that you have a good day with family and friends, have some good food, some good drinks, some nice music. And if you are going to have fireworks and play with guns, please be careful, folks.
Oh, there'll be fireworks. There already has been here today, and
I,
it's not even nighttime.
I don't want to see any of you in a friggin' compilation video on YouTube where you blew your hand off or you burnt your arsehole. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's certain places you shouldn't stick firecrackers and whatnot. People, that's only
Yeah.
common sense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh, Evil One says there was a woman who said she was going to burn the American flag at the Lincoln Memorial. Laugh out loud. I wonder how that's working out for her. Well, she has the right. Probably not going to be too popular. Although I don't know, I do hear that there's going to be plenty on hand to protest Trump's 4th of July parade. So I don't know. We'll
Wait,
see.
protesting the 4th of July parade, and I assume that's Trump's parade.
Yes.
Okay. And do we know what's involved in this particular parade, sir?
The only thing that they're focusing on is tanks.
Cool.
There's going to be tanks.
Good luck protesting tanks.
Yeah.
They weigh about 64 tons. They got a big ass gun on it, with a machine gun on top of that. So good luck.
Yeah.
Also, fairly sure the driver's armed as well. He just open his hatch and pop, pop.
I got no problem with that. Heck, if we had a 4th of July parade here, which we probably do, but I'd be down with them having some tanks in it. They're cool.
Yeah, they are. Tanks are awesome.
Yeah.
How can you not like tanks? Play gigantic, heavy, tracked vehicles with hoofing gun on the front of it. Loud, makes the ground shake. It's awesome. I've been inside. Well, I've been inside an armored tracked vehicle. It doesn't technically count as a tank.
Yeah.
Because I guess it's not big enough. I've been inside a Warrior. It's an IFV, an infantry fighting vehicle.
Oh, something like a Bradley then.
It's a lot faster than a normal tank, but it's on tracks. It still has a gun on it. It has like a 30 mil gun,
Yeah.
And like a GPMG on top of that. And that it's so cool, so loud, so loud.
Yeah. Well,
I've also seen a grid square destroyer in real life as well.
Oh yeah.
I forget what they're called. It's like MLR something. I can't remember the name of the vehicle, but there's a vehicle we have in our military called the Grid Square Destroyer, and presumably we purchased it from you lot. And the reason why we call it a Grid Square Destroyer is because on a map, the grid squares are 2 kilometers by 2 kilometers, and it's capable of destroying the entire grid. Because it fires just all the rockets, and then drives away.
Oh, sorry about that.
A bit like a TLAR. But yeah,
for a cigarette, my shoulder popped, and so there was out popped a little.
Happy 4th to my sister on the other side of the pond.
Yeah, yeah. Happy 4th of July to all those that have showed up since the stream started.
Mama
I warn you, this is going to be a very patriotic stream. So if you're offended by that, you're at the wrong place.
Mm-hmm. And number one knows what I'm talking about. Drove that out in Iraq. It's not the fastest thing in the world, but it's cool, man. I seen one doing exercises up near Catterick years ago. Oh,
yeah.
So sexy.
Yeah, I've seen a little bit of pushback, not towards me, but towards other people like Monkey and so forth on Twitter. But I haven't let it get to me. I made my mind up when I got up this morning. I'm just going to be the annoying, ugly American. Ain't nobody going to ruin my 4th of July.
Yeah, he is blind, sis. He really is. Just ignore your daughter, Bloodwing. It's perfectly fine.
What?
She's in the chat.
I know she's in the chat. I've seen her, and you said hello to her, and I hadn't got to it yet. Since when did you get so impatient, T?
You've not even introduced me yet. Like 8 minutes into the stream.
Well, we got right off on the 4th of July thing. Yeah. With me, as always, is Irate Bear.
No, it's too late now. Too late now.
It's too late.
But yes, I hope that you guys have a great day today. Seriously, banter aside,
yeah.
Hope you have a good time, and please be careful, especially you, Bloodwing, in your neighborhood, because I know that it's not just fireworks being shot into the sky.
Oh, heck no. There is no way in the world I'm stepping outside without a roof over my head after dark.
You go outside with a Kevlar helmet.
Yeah, because folks, all those pellets and bullets you shoot in the air, they come down somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Have you been up to your roof at all?
Have I been to my roof? No.
In the last couple of years, no.
No, I mean I rent, so that's up to the landlord to get up there.
Yeah. It'd be, I bet there's a few interesting little bits and bobs up there left over from the parties from where you live.
Yeah, and I've become so clumsy in the last few years that no doubt in my mind I'd fall off.
Black Jesus New Year's Day 2012. I've been sent a video by EVL1, and obviously we can't share the video because we are using Google Hangouts, and it appears to be 2 chaps from the hood who have lit fireworks in the middle of the road, and yeah, they've gone everywhere. They didn't plant the fireworks into mud, and therefore just proceeded to fire in all different directions in the street, and it's hitting people's cars, their houses. I think it might have hit those 2.
Oh yeah.
Oh, silly sausages.
Yep. Every year we get people injured, as you mentioned, with fireworks, and we get fires. Pretty sure I probably Well, I know I already heard the fire engines earlier today coming by in a rush, and the sirens are blaring. So
Mm-hmm.
somebody's grill probably got out of hand, or they got crazy with the fireworks.
Yeah, yeah. Guys, please be careful. Please do be careful. Fires are easily started.
Yes, yes, they are. Yes, they
I
are.
wouldn't want any of you to hurt yourselves,
Yeah, and
or a family member, or a friend.
I can't think of a worse way to spend our nation's birthday than in the emergency room. So
Yeah. Be careful, folks. Be careful. Mm.
yeah. So she's
You're not my supervisor, but well, I am functional. I kind of have to be for you, don't I? You misbehaving, miscreant. Ah. So, what's the plans then for Mr. Bloodwing today?
nothing too detailed. I mean, Mama Minnie lives all the way out in Michigan, and the youngest one has got issues of her own going on right now. So
Mm, mm.
we're not really doing the family thing this year.
Well, that's unfortunate, mate.
Yeah, but it's understandable. If you knew everything that was going on, which I will not share,
Well, that's your
it's
personal business, mate.
yeah, it's personal family business. You'd understand it. It's understandable. So
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. So I assume like you'll be checking out the fireworks and stuff from the window.
oh, I'll be watching to see what I can see out the window. There'll be plenty of them. I mean, we usually on the 4th of July, I can look out any window of the house facing any direction and see fireworks somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all around me. But
Hmm.
used to be the fireworks, that level of fireworks were illegal here in my state. In fact, you couldn't even have firecrackers, not legally.
Yeah.
But they somewhere down the line they changed the law, and now it's always funny when it gets like a month ahead of 4th of July. All these temporary businesses pop up in empty storefronts selling fireworks.
Ah, I see. Yeah. Yeah.
And they'll have people out on the roads, with the sandwich signs on and stuff, trying to get people in to come buy their fireworks.
Hmm. Well, I mean, yeah. It's funny you say that. I saw a guy today this morning when I was going to pick up my eldest from high school. I drove across the roundabout. There's a guy stood there
Yep.
on the side of the road with a sign. I couldn't see the sign until I got super close. And I was like, the sign said that, oh, the entrance to the motorway is closed today. I was like, why is there a guy standing here with a sign just on his phone?
I don't know.
Like they didn't have a normal sign they could put up. I was just like, the poor bastard. I mean, I'm glad the weather's good today because, otherwise it'd just be terrible.
Mama Minnie says I'll send pictures, Pop. We got fountains and such for the Munchkins. Cool, thank you, baby. I want to see them.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, what they do here for that, they'll just hire some teenager, just temporary hire to hire him for the day to stand out next to the road and walk back and forth.
I mean, this guy wasn't even a teenager.
Yeah.
He was an adult. I felt bad for the guy.
Well, I suppose they would hire an adult, but it's usually, I think, just the teenagers that go after it. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Like a couple of hours. Don't have to do much, I guess. Weather good in the UK? Yeah, man. It's been lovely. Gorgeous day today. Gorgeous day today. Lovely.
Yeah,
Gorgeous
it's
weather.
pretty nice out here today too. The weather was weird yesterday. If you've seen my posts on Twitter, it was thunderstorming and the sun was shining. I kid you not. There was rain and thunder, but the sun was shining.
Beginning to think that Indiana is just the Falklands Mark II.
It gets weird here sometimes.
That is quite true. I mean, the Falklands is awful for weather, man.
Hey, Mummy American.
It's the only place I know that you can get sunburnt in the snow. Yeah. all the rain, yeah. It's really weird. Like in a space of 6 hours, you can go to boiling to death, to freezing to death, in a very short period of time. Very stupid weather.
Yeah, well, we're used to thunderstorms here. That's it. That's all the time. I mean, spring and summer we get plenty of thunderstorms, and especially those of the pop up variety.
Mm.
That there's no warning of. They just come out of form and come out of nowhere. And but thunderstorms, and I've seen rain in the sunshine, but thunderstorms in the sunshine was a little odd. And I don't mean they were just little. I mean, these were full on big thunder boomers. When I first heard it coming, I'm like,
Thunder boomers.
yeah, I thought, is it fireworks? No, that's thunder.
Oh, poor Viper. Viper's obviously been complaining about the weather because she's not a fan of the heat, you see, not a fan of the sunshine. Get outside and get some sunshine on your skin, Viper.
Well, if you all were civilized, like us Americans, you'd have air conditioning and you wouldn't be fighting that.
Well, we don't need air conditioning.
Yeah, because with it, what would you complain about?
Exactly. No, we complain about other things. No, we don't need it because we only get about 3 days worth of summer every year. The rest of the year it's freezing and raining. Don't need that.
Yeah, well, I get that it's not like the American Southwest where having air conditioning is a matter of survival, but it can be around here. I mean, every year there's a drive to buy poor families and old folks box fans to keep in their house because every year we do get some heat related deaths. It can get pretty hot here. The worst part is the Midwest is very humid, and that just exacerbates it.
Oh, so it's England Mark II then. Very humid here. Very, very humid country. I mean, generally being an island, that's kind of what happens. But yeah. But no, I get you.
Yeah. But you get used to it. You get used to it, just like you get used to the tornadoes. I don't know if you've seen that little tornado. It was making the rounds on Twitter a couple of days ago, where somebody was looking up and actually seen the tail of the tornado forming and coming down near them, and people saying, "What would you do?"
Now there's a character you should create.
Well, I'd look at it and say, well, it's a tornado. I guess maybe I better get inside.
Nah, you could play like a crazy redneck who actually chases tornadoes. You could be like cursing at it and stuff. All you got to do is like get a cheapo camera or whatever.
Well, they are racist.
Yeah, but they are exactly.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. They are, and I can prove it that they're
that tornadoes are racist.
Yeah.
To who?
To rednecks. They are racist. They hate. Well, okay, so prejudiced. They're bigots.
Okay.
They're prejudiced against rednecks, and I can prove it. I mean, you can be standing out there and seeing a tornado coming straight at you, and that tornado will look to its left, see a trailer park, and say, "Whoop, left turn, Clyde."
Like, I can make all this fly everywhere.
Yeah, and who more than anybody else lives in trailer parks? Rednecks.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I can definitely see that. No, all you gotta do, get a cheap camera, fix it to the passenger side of your car, and just play this old crazy redneck character. It doesn't even need to be a tornado.
Yeah,
you could just be like, we out here hunting them tornadoes, like we're gonna find one today and it's gonna learn today.
But it wouldn't even be much of a stretch for me because I do love storms. I would, so if I were single, didn't have a family and all that, I would definitely go storm chasing.
What was that thing you showed me and Misa ages ago? That he was like, the guy was something, he used to be on the radio, but he had a YouTube thing. This means war,
still on the radio.
Carl!
He's on the radio every morning.
What's his name?
Oh, doggone it! There goes my terrible memory again.
Yeah, this means war, Carl.
He's like, shut up, Randy. It's state law. Help me. I know Mama Minnie knows who I'm talking about, baby. Help me with my bad memory.
To him and just get in the truck. and just video yourself just shouting at people and tornadoes and stuff. That would, it's like a hillbilly storm chaser. There you go.
Hang on a sec, honey. It's Bob and Tom. You don't know. You don't listen to them. My wife was asking me what it was, but she won't listen to that radio station because they annoy her.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, something like that. And I think that would be quite a successful YouTube channel.
Yeah, probably. Excuse me. I will
get my throat clear. Yeah, of course they do. I know how you all are with shooting with the weather.
That's right. That's right. I mean, seriously, I love storms, and I would, without hesitation, chase them.
Mm.
Yeah, even tornadoes. Yeah.
Fair enough. So, obviously, with it being Independence Day and you being a history buff,
Donnie Baker. Sorry,
Donnie Baker. That's the one.
Yeah, the name just popped to me. Is Donnie Baker.
Mm-hmm.
That's his stage name. He's a
yeah.
He's a local Indiana comedian that made a name for himself, made a living out of that character.
Good.
Yeah, he's still every morning on the Bob and Tom show. He's on there. He'll call into the show.
Mm.
Well, they say he calls in.
Well,
they make it sound like a phone call, but
yeah, quote unquote, yeah.
Yeah, right. And it's always just as good as that video. I mean, he's just hilarious. To the point that some of them are even like, "Oh God, Donnie, you didn't say that." Yeah, I love me some Donnie Baker.
Good. I would like it if you did something like that.
Yeah,
I'd watch the crap out of that. I really would. If you could do it, you know.
Well, see, the funny thing about Donnie Baker is he's not far off. That's the way it is around here.
Well, there you go.
You know, everybody laughs, but yeah, there's parts of Indiana that's exactly like that.
You know what? You know how I was saying I needed to shrink my tabs before the stream. It's looking so much better now.
Is it?
I've got so much more room for activities.
It's not bugging your ADD anymore.
What, ADHD? And it was. I tell you what, Vanilla Bear was not happy today because I experience like extreme hypos from time to time, where I get a little bit excited.
Yeah.
Usually in the supermarket. And I was just annoying her. And she's going, fuck off. And I'm like, just like, no, I don't want to.
Well, it depends on what it is. I have a touch of what would you call that? Not ADHD, but
ADD. There's attention deficit hyperactive disorder, and then there's attention deficit disorder.
Well, I was thinking in particular where you got to have things in a certain way. Or
OCD.
Yeah.
I know
a little bit of that, you know, on certain things. Like, for instance, when I was on Discord all the time, you know that I had to go through and get all those little red numbers off of all the channels, or it was going to bug the crap out of me. Same here on YouTube. If the little red numbers are over the bell, I got to get rid of them.
Yeah, I'm like that. I'm like that with my phone. And the YouTube app is weird, man, because like even if you remove a bunch of notifications, it's the red little symbol still there.
Yep.
Go away. Oh, God. And Stargazer Nights, I appreciate that you're shilling the Streamlabs, but if you could just shill for Bloodwing, I'd really appreciate that.
Speaking of YouTube, as I told you before the stream, I did go over and watch the latest R8 Alex video of Lord Bear. It was quite funny. If you all haven't seen it yet, please go over there. It's just a couple of minutes long. Won't take much out of your day.
Thank you for shilling it, mate. Yeah, I knew. I didn't want to make. I did want to make a Lord Bear video for Independence Day. I knew that I was going to do it at some point, but it's going to be 2 Lord Bear videos back to back, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
you know, because I've got another one that's scheduled to premiere tomorrow night. What I think it'd be 7:30 your time, midnight my time. I think it is.
Okay.
Because Omegon, excuse me, Omegon is releasing his part two video essay on Chantel Marie, aka Foodie Beauty, aka Big Beautiful Me, aka Chunky Nuts. And he asked me to be in the video and to do a Lord Bear skit. And he was like, "Can you make a 6-minute segment?" And I did, and it kind of went to 13 minutes because you know how I be. And basically he said, "Oh, you know, just basically release yours after mine's done, the unedited version, the full 13-minute response video. So I will be premiering it, well, a couple of hours after his and half an hour after Ghost Poo."
Well, there you go. Be on the lookout for that too, guys.
Mm.
Mama Minnie says I'm ADHD. So's my oldest boy and youngest girl. He knows all about that. Yeah, because they all lived with me for quite a while.
And Nuts says she loved the Lord Bear video today. I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, I spent half my time while they lived here peeling someone off the walls. Like, talk about a hyper bunch. Ugh.
Yeah. It's fun though.
Yeah, but poor Mama Minnie when she's so hyper. I remember talking to her drill sergeant when we went up there for her graduation from basic training. And she was telling us a story of how she was supposed to be in formation at attention and she was moving her leg. You know, she just couldn't help it.
Yeah, I'm like that, dude.
I was like, yeah, that's my daughter.
You know me, I can't sit still either. To the point where the chat's like, "Bear, what's wrong with your audio?" It's not the audio. It's me moving around in my chair.
What's that, honey?
And they say, "I've got ADHD."
But yeah. So what else we got today? I don't want to get away from the patriotic theme, but we can talk about other things as well.
Well, I mean, you could always give us a nice history lesson, but there is something I saw today, and I think it's worth discussing. Okay. Maybe, possibly. So I'll pop the chat out real quick. I saw people talking about it on Twitter. I was just like, eh? And it's an article from the Telegraph. Anyone with more than 30,000 social media followers considered a celebrity. Advertising watchdog rules.
Okay.
So that's kind of weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
That an advertising watchdog has just decided that I'm a celebrity, y'all.
Well, 30,000 followers would certainly be a pretty good following, but a celebrity? I don't know about that.
Yeah, neither do I. I'm not too sure myself. And I wonder if that, you know, kind of falls in line with YouTube subscribers or Twitch followers or something, you know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I heard Cali had a bit of an earthquake today.
Yeah.
Because I follow an anime YouTuber called Giguk. He's really like he would be considered a celebrity. He's friggin' huge channel, and he went to an anime convention there, and he's British, right? And I don't think he's ever experienced anything like that before. He's like, "Did the ground just shake?"
Yeah, I've been in a couple of earthquakes. Amazingly, never while I lived in California, because I did live in Southern California for a while. We've had earthquakes here in Indiana before. Nothing major, you know, enough to rattle your dishes in the cabinets, kind of thing.
Well, I mean, we do have the occasional earthquake here. It just doesn't like happen very often, and they're so minor. You know, it just like makes it onto the 4th page of news. You know, the only real thing I've ever experienced is when a lightning bolt hit the ground near my house, and the house shook, and everything was falling off the bloody shelves and stuff.
Oh,
and Vanilla Bear slept through it.
She sounds like me. I
Okay.
love sleeping during storms.
Our earthquakes are because of diabetic. Well done, Mr. Dax. Good work. Good work. Yeah, I like
Yeah,
that.
I actually sleep better during storms. I love sleeping
Yeah,
during storms.
I like sleeping in the rain. No, not obviously outside in the rain, but I like it when the rain's coming down
Yeah.
hard. Well, I have slept outside in the rain as well. That was very unpleasant. But
Jay Wolf says, "Ain't it about time that state talking about California fell into the ocean?" Yeah, I wouldn't shed too much of a tear as long as some of my buddies like Scribe Light and others had a chance to get out first.
yeah, because we like Scribe.
Yeah. Am I a ginger? No. I'm not now, but the early part of my life, I was toe-headed, which is a redneck word for just being really blonde.
Mm,
I was so blonde once upon a time, my hair was almost white. Uh, but
Ashen.
yeah, once I got into my 20s, it started turning dark, and by the time I was in my mid 30s, it had gone completely brown.
Yeah. Oh, well, people's hair tends to darken over a period of time, doesn't it?
Yeah, and of course now it's starting to go white, so it's an always changing thing.
Mm. I have a question for you.
Sure.
Seeing as you were there, which console would have been the founding fathers' favorite?
Which console?
Yeah, there's a question posed by IGN on Twitter.
We're talking gaming console.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Uh, Jeez.
it's quite an amusing picture here. They've got the founding fathers, and they've obviously photoshopped PlayStations, Xboxes, and VRs onto them.
Well, I would have to say Xbox, but it's simply because PlayStation and NES are made outside the country. So I'm
Oh,
not saying
Bloodwing.
Xbox is better. I'm just saying that it is American made, at least for the most part.
Well, let's say they're all made in America.
Oh, I wouldn't have any idea then.
I mean, you knew them, didn't you?
Well, I was pretty young at the time.
I was only 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have my own opinions. I do prefer the Xbox over the PS4, but or any of the PS models. But J Kid, my son, disagrees with me. He likes the PlayStation better. So
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Let's go back to this article real quick. Anyone with more than 30,000 social media followers is now considered a celebrity and subject to advertising rules, a watchdog has ruled in the landmark case. The ASA found mummy blogger Sarah Willocks Knott breached its rules when she promoted an over-the-counter sleeping sedative. Oh, I get where they're coming from with this. I get where they're coming from with this. They're going to try and hold people to account when they promote stuff in their videos and stuff. An over-the-counter sleeping sedative, as the size of her Instagram following classified her as a celebrity. The ruling is the first of its kind where a social media influencer has fallen foul of regulations banning celebrities or health professionals from endorsing medical products. I see. It's not that they're defining like how many followers you have making you a celebrity. It's that they want to hold people to account when they reach a certain follower standard. Basically holding you to the same rules that TV companies and the people who advertise have to follow, basically.
yeah.
Well, it's not like I get any sponsorships, so no, don't get me wrong. There are companies that have approached me and offered it, but I tend to ignore them.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Me personally, I couldn't care less what a celebrity says. Just
Mm-hmm.
because they got a lot of people that like them, don't make them an expert on any given subject. But you do know, you do have people that just eat that stuff up. So,
Oh yeah, of course there are. There's plenty of people that eat that crap up. Yeah.
it's like your amount of Twitter followers and YouTube subscribers, or even the fact that you're a TV or movie star, does not make you an expert in world affairs.
Yeah. Yeah, it's whatever, I guess. Yeah, I guess they're just trying to hold people to account when they reach a certain size, and whenever their posts reach regular amounts of followers and stuff, it's whatever, I guess. Yeah, yeah. Well, I think you should talk about patriotism and stuff, mate. Because
Patriotism and stuff.
yeah, because otherwise we're gonna get into some news. Like, let's have a look. Let's see who's kicking off about Independence Day. We'll just type that into Google. Let's have a look. Go to news. Let's see who's calling it racist. Oh, here we go. Independence Day in a divided America. Of course, there's the stuff about Trump's march. A guide to the 4th of July for non-Americans. Yeah, we had a fight with the British, and they won.
And we won.
And they proceeded to dump tea into Boston Harbor, which I think is a waste. But
I just love that when you say we won. I just love the argument that some people come back with. No, you didn't really win. You just it just wasn't worth it anymore, and they left. Well, that's a win.
yeah, that's still a win.
Think about it, folks. We were a tiny, brand new country, like I said before, of nothing much more than common people and farmers, severely underarmed, severely undertrained. And yeah, we did not fight standard warfare, and we didn't intend to. We done guerrilla warfare until we made it to the point the Brits said, this ain't worth it. We're leaving.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely in the later stages of the empire. I could imagine it was costing us an arm and a leg.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
Britain,
we'd already dealt with pirates and stuff. I mean,
and
that was a little bit before that. Well, no, it wasn't too far before that. The golden age of piracy.
Yeah.
Because don't forget, we already had dissident Brits wanting to get away from the crown.
Yeah, and a lot of those hung out in the Caribbean,
Yeah.
which is just off the not
and
far from
America and
Yeah.
America as well. Yeah. A lot of those pirates and stuff are obviously like their main bases and stuff were in the Caribbean, but they would raid merchant vessels going up and down the east coast of America and through the Caribbean. So they'd raid obviously British and French and stuff like that.
Yeah, and at the time, the British Army was probably the biggest, most well-trained army of the time. Certainly the biggest navy, at the time, and I'd say that's a win.
And the pirates certainly gave the crown a run for its money.
Yeah.
And they weren't exactly. I mean, they were fairly trained because most of them had come from naval, military, or what's the other thing they would call themselves? Privateer backgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
And they obviously did try to. What was the island? Nassau. They had their base on Nassau, and they obviously tried to have their own alliance and stuff, but obviously they were divided and things like that. And of course, there was the king's pardon and whatnot. But yeah. You were not the first dissidents from the crown, and I can see why.
Yeah,
I can certainly see why.
Yeah,
and pittance, press gangs.
So yeah, I always love it when somebody does come up with that argument, though. Well, you didn't really win. Yeah, we did. It just wasn't. It wasn't a kind of flat out military victory like we got in World War II or something like that. This was a completely different warfare. That's one of the reasons it became unworthy to, because we were fighting a guerrilla warfare where they were still doing what was at that time standard warfare, and they weren't sure how to handle it. We learned that from the American Indians.
Yeah,
I mean, come on, you're an army of undertrained commoners with old, dilapidated weapons. You're not going to face off against the biggest army and what most well-trained army of the day face to face. That's just stupid.
Hmm.
That's just dumb.
Well, I mean, you guys had problems with the Viet Cong for the same reasons, really.
Exactly.
Jungle
Yeah.
warfare, not used to it, you know.
And it worked for him, didn't it? It eventually got to the point it just wasn't worth it for America to stay in that.
Yeah, I mean, their death toll was ridiculous,
Yeah.
but yours was getting way out of hand as well.
Well, that's because they wouldn't let us fight the war the way it should have been fought. It was all about the body count.
Yeah, I know the media, and obviously with the civil rights movement ramping up around the same time, didn't help.
Yeah. I mean, our military would go in and take this hill over here, and fight for days and lose hundreds, if not thousands, of soldiers doing it. And then the next day they just retreat and let them take it back because it was
Mm,
all about the body count. And you're not going to win a war that way.
yeah, yeah, it's a difficult one. I mean, you're fighting jungle warfare, urban warfare, and an enemy that not only knows the terrain better than you, but the cheeky little Viet Cong with their tunnel network. It's I can see where all the difficulties kind of arise from with that.
Yeah,
I have a couple of articles.
all right.
You aren't going to be happy with it.
Oh, well, we'll see. I told you I wasn't going to let my mood be ruined today.
Well, I mean, we don't have to go through them if you don't want
No,
to.
no, no. I doubt that you can ruin my mood. Let's hear what you got.
All right. This is from truthout.org. The Declaration of Independence is sexist, racist, prejudiced.
I seen that article. I actually read it, but yeah, you go ahead. You go
Uh,
with it.
I'd like to know how the Declaration of Independence is.
Warning: it's a little bit of a long article, though.
Oh, I don't want to read. Oh my god, it goes on forever, doesn't it? Oh, I'll just read the bullet points. It did not condemn slavery.
No, it didn't, but it was a product of its time.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Not that that's right, but that was the. It wasn't just America. Overall, the world as a whole felt that way. I mean, you guys in Britain outlawed slavery before a couple of decades before we did, and it was still long after the Declaration of Independence.
Mm. 2, it did not protect the rights of women.
Oh Lord, yeah, and you know what they're talking about there is because they use that generic term of men. Like when they say all men are created equal. Well, that's a generic term meaning the entire human race, not.
Yeah,
it's not pointing out.
it's called mankind, not man and womankind. 3, to the disadvantage of Native Americans, Jefferson replaced the phrase property with happiness when saying that human beings' basic rights include life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Yeah, I call BS on that one. I read the reasonings for it, and it's all speculation.
We're not to know. We didn't live then. Okay. So those are the 3 reasons.
Well, let's think about it though. Logically, what makes more sense, that you have a basic human right to happiness or basic human right to property? Because I don't think you have a right to property. There's. Do you have a right to proper living conditions? Yes. But do you have a right to own that property? No, I'm not so sure. But I think we all have a right to happiness.
I don't know.
Well, look, neither you or I own where we live, do we?
Well, I don't think you. When we say rights, we're talking about inalienable rights, right?
Right.
We as a society have decided that should be protected,
Right.
Under the Constitution and or law. A right, when they say right to property, don't they mean the right to have your property protected whilst you're away from it?
I don't know. Maybe, but because it mentions the American Indians, I'm pretty sure they're pushing more to the fact that we stole their homelands. We did. We stole their homelands and forced them to move elsewhere, to less agreeable places. And so I'm pretty sure at least they're focused here in this article is on property, as in owning an area, land.
Well, no, you don't have a right to a particular plot of land.
Yeah.
You buy that.
Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
like I said, you and I, neither one own where we live. We rent.
yeah, yeah.
And,
I don't
you
have a
know,
right to this place.
yeah.
Um, okay. But when I say the right to happiness, like, what does that mean?
Well, it's actually a pursuit of happiness.
Oh, the right to the right. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's the American dream.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
the American dream, folks, is not a guarantee that you'll be successful and be rich and have everything you ever want, but it is a guarantee that you'll have all the freedoms to make sure that you can pursue that.
Hmm. There's actually I think this might be from the Declaration of Independence. If I just read it quickly.
Hmm.
The necessity of pursuing happiness is the foundation of liberty, as therefore the highest perfection of intellectual nature lies in a careful and constant pursuit of true and solid happiness. So the care of ourselves, that we mistake not imaginary for real happiness, is the necessary foundation of our liberty. The stronger ties we have to an unalterable pursuit of happiness in general, which our greatest good and which, as such, our desires always follow. The more we are free from any necessary determination of our will to any particular action and from a necessary compliance from our desire set upon any particular and then appearing preferable good till we have duly examined. It's a very long sentence. And then appearing preferable good till we have duly examined whether it has a tendency to or be inconsistent with our real happiness. And therefore, till we are as much informed upon this inquiry as the weight of the matter and the nature of the case demands, we are, by the necessity of preferring and pursuing true happiness as our greatest good, obliged to suspend the satisfaction of our desires in particular cases.
So, yeah. And I agree. We all have a basic right for the pursuit of happiness. No guarantee you're going to find it.
Straight Sif Mel, are you just being pedantic?
I
Or do you
think
not
he
hear what
has
I
to
just
be
said?
because, dude, you know that's not what we were saying.
You have a right
Property's
to your
already,
own property, yeah. You don't have
yeah.
a right to random plots of of property or to someone else's house. But yeah, there's that, I guess. So the Declaration of Independence is racist and sexist.
Yeah, yeah, I seen that article earlier when I was just like, you know what, I'm going to see what is in the news today, and was looking through and saw it. I'm like, oh, please, okay, I'll look. Let's see what you got to say.
See, Seth, you're a dick.
Yeah.
One of these days, Seth. There was the the shoes controversy. We call them trainers here in the UK. You call them sneakers.
Or tennis shoes, yeah.
Yeah. This is from the BBC. So is the racist trainer controversy good for Nike? Now it was that. Can you just explain for those of us who aren't American what that flag is on the back of it?
It's the Betsy, and we Americans say Nike, by the way. Just another thing we do different.
Did I not say Nike?
No, you said Nike.
Oh yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
It's the Betsy Ross flag, which is one of the original flags of the United States. It's that familiar one with it has all the red and white stripes, but in the field of blue, it has a circle of 13 stars, representative of the 13 original colonies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they wanted to put that on the back of it. It was just on the heel of it, from what I understand. Just could be seen from the back. But yeah, that's offensive.
Mm-hmm. It is a new day in the Nike racist trainer furore, and no one has as yet set fire to their own shoes. Well, good, because they're expensive things, and like I think it's a bit silly if you set your own shoes on fire.
I've seen a lot of people saying, well, I'll never buy Nike again, and I'll not buy this, or I'm taking my Nikes back, and return them. And yeah, whatever, if that's what you want to do. I never bought them anyway because I can't freaking afford them. I go
Mm.
to Walmart and get the cheap ones.
Yeah, the Nike is expensive. However, the controversy has reignited the anger at the heart of America's gaping political divide. Um, Ahead of Independence Day, Nike has withdrawn a pair of special edition trainers because they allegedly feature racist symbolism. Yeah, okay. The shoes are emblazoned by the country's first flag, which was created during the American Revolution, is adorned by the circle of 13 stars representing the original colonies of the US. Nike said it was recalling the shoes because of concerns that it could unintentionally offend and detract from the nation's patriotic holiday. Well, I don't care if it offends you.
Yeah.
It's not as if they've emblazoned a picture of Diane Abbott on the back of them,
Yeah.
naked.
Well,
You know,
by their way of thinking, any American flag that was flown prior to 1963, which would be any American flag other than the one we fly today, would be offensive.
mm-hmm. It's just sad how we get outrage over anything. Like, come on, it's your first flag. It's your nation's history,
Yeah,
and you don't have to buy it.
No.
No one's forcing you to go out and buy these Nike trainers.
And truth be known, you don't even have to look at it. If you see somebody out there wearing them, look away.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Oh, how often do you like look at other people's feet? I mean, what is it? It's in the Shawshank Redemption. Like
Yeah.
you know when he breaks out of the prison, and it's said like, how often do you look at a person's shoes?
Yeah. I don't pay attention to person's shoes. I look at my own feet, but that's because I'm clumsy and I got to see where I'm going. Real
Yeah.
quick, thank you, Cryptic, for the donation. Listening to your stream in my hammock, America F yeah. Yeah, not a better place to listen to it. I like a good hammock.
The trainers themselves, I mean, I don't mind the flag being on the back of it. That's cool. I just don't like the design of them. They're friggin' moon boots.
Yeah, I just
they're not for me, but that's fine. It's not because of the flags on it. And even if I did have a problem with the flag, which I don't, this fine. Like I'm not going.
The name brand tennis shoes, Nike, Adidas, all of
Reebok,
them, all the big name. They're just
Puma.
way too expensive.
Yeah, they are very pricey things. They are.
It's incredibly dumb to pay that much for tennis shoes that are going to last what, a year at most,
if you're lucky.
Yeah.
Honestly, mate, like I'm wearing Nikes right now.
Yeah.
Like Air Max Nikes, and I've not had them that long, right? And just bearing in mind, I don't go out a lot. I spend a lot of my time at my computer, and these things are falling to pieces. You know, like I've got a new pair coming soon, but yeah, that's.
Yeah. Whereas the shoes that I wear most often are they're like tennis shoes, but they're slip-ons. They don't tie them or Velcro them; they just slip on. And I've had them for a good 4 or 5 years at least, and they still got a lot of life to them. And they were just cheap Walmart shoes. I think I give $20 for them.
Yeah, you are paying for a name. That's exactly right.
Oh, absolutely.
You're not paying for quality. Let's be honest with these freaking things.
And it's always been that case. In my day, it wasn't so much tennis shoes, unless you were talking about Chucks, Converse. Now, you might pay more for those when I was a teenager in the 70s, but you certainly had items that you paid for names like Levi's. I mean, that Levi bell-bottom jeans were the ones that you wanted back then. But if you were like me and come from a poor family, you couldn't afford them.
I get why people buy them. It's trendy, you know.
Yeah.
You want to look and you want to feel good, and yeah, you want to be considered trendy and all that kind of stuff. I get it, but when you get a bit older and you've got real responsibilities in life, and you're poor,
yeah, I couldn't afford the Levi's, so we got the cheap JCPenney ones.
Nike said it was recalling the shoes because of concerns that it could unintentionally offend and detract from the nation's patriotic holiday. I mean, that's their choice as a business. I don't think it was a good choice, but
Yeah.
I guess it's very
In my
silly.
opinion, that is the worst thing that any company or brand or whatever can do, is to give in to social justice, or to anything, anybody telling you how to do your business,
Mm-hmm.
what you can and cannot make. The worst mistake you can make is to give in to that, because from that point on, they expect it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it sounds like they took it off the shelves before anybody kicked off.
Yeah.
I don't know whether there was outrage and then they removed the shoes. It doesn't say that.
You know,
Um,
and in particular, to pick the Betsy Ross flag, our one of our original American flags, because we did try out a few other designs before settling on the present stars and bars.
mhm.
Uh, it, Anybody that finds it offensive because of slavery, I don't get, because it's more a symbol of the birth of our nation. That's what it's recognized as. In fact, it is a protected symbol of the sons of the Revolutionary War,
Mm.
which is made up of men that are all descendants of original patriots. Um, I could get it if it was a Confederate flag, maybe, you know, that would make more sense to me. But the Betsy Ross, come on,
I don't get it. I
you're
don't get it.
stretching.
It's what they're purposely doing is reaching.
Yeah,
They're looking at something, and instead of looking at it for what it actually represents, they're going, right, when was this made? Okay, let's have a look at this time period. What was happening in this time period? Oh, slavery. Well, I can't support that. As if that flag stands for that. Ugh, shut up.
Mike Savage,
Um,
you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Old Glory.
um, Colin Kaepernick, the former NFL quarterback and face of Nike's Just Do It campaign, apparently told the sportswear giant that the flag is offensive because it is associated with an era, and that's the problem, of widespread slavery in the US. Others reportedly raised concerns with Nike. Okay, so it was Colin
Hmm.
and probably his lawyers, to be honest. Those others were probably his lawyers.
Yeah,
Um,
if that's what you see when you look at the Betsy Ross flag, then you got an issue. Of
yeah,
course, that's Colin. That's what he sees when he looks at anything. That's just so
that's so
shtick.
sad.
That's his whole shtick these days.
That's so sad. I don't understand how you could live your life like that. Like, like I'm over here with depression and stuff, and I don't look at flags or pieces of clothing and see slavery.
Yeah, I mean that. As I said, that flag is much more a symbol of the birth of this country than it is anything else. And if you're looking at it and you're seeing anything other than that, like a representation of slavery, then that's what you see everywhere, and that is what Colin sees everywhere. He's trying desperately
Relevant.
uh, to stay relevant, since he's no longer plays in the NFL, which, by the way, has nothing to do with his politics and everything to do with his skill level.
It
The,
annoys me that he came over here and did that shit as well.
yeah, the man just wasn't that good. I mean, my Colts team ground him into the ground, and that was during a year that we weren't very good. We only won like 4 or 5 games that year.
Mm.
We clobbered him.
I like coming over here and doing it. We're not a country that's obviously big on NFL, and I'm like, if you want it to get bigger over here, presumably you do,
Yeah.
especially from a business standpoint, bringing that shit over here and getting down on one knee and protesting, that ain't gonna sell anything.
Yeah.
That's not gonna go down with the British
There
public
is a
very.
lot of evidence that points to the fact that the only reason he even pulled all that was to try to get more money. His contract was about to be up. He was trying to get more money out of his team. for his new contract, and it backfired on him.
Mm. Your boy Pat says, Kaepernick is what I like to call a corporate houseboy. His job is to keep black people thinking negative. I mean, that's the Democrats all over, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
About things so they never excel and rely upon the left.
Yeah.
And
Never mind.
that's what Democrats, that's what the left does in general, really, actually.
Yeah, and never mind the fact that he was a very successful black man. And what makes it even worse, he was raised by white parents.
Mm-hmm. So here you have a guy raised by white people who's a black man who's extremely successful. I mean, he may not be a star quarterback and be as good as some of the others across the NFL now or even back then, but he's still a millionaire. I'd say that's extremely successful. And here he is, trying to sell this idea that black people are being kept down, and well, I suppose they are by the left, but
well, he's like I said, he's trying to stay relevant. He still has sponsorship with certain companies, and now it's because of his politics instead of his football prowess. He's not playing football anywhere. He's been offered jobs in the NFL, but they weren't starting jobs, so he was too good for that. He's too good to go play for the Canadian League.
He's too good for Canada, but too crap for America.
He was offered a spot in the Canadian League, and he basically, I'm too good for that. No.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah.
It's a job, isn't it?
It
would have
is.
got paid fairly well, presumably.
And he probably would have been good enough to start in the Canadian League, but
I mean, I imagine there's not as much money in the Canadian leagues, but it's still, I imagine it still pays fairly well.
Yeah, more than I make.
Yeah, I don't know how much. I don't even know how much American football players make, but I know that it's a lot, and I can't imagine it's too far off in Canada.
It depends a lot on what position they play.
Well, okay, we'll say quarterback then, for the sake of simplicity.
Gosh. Quarterbacks.
If you're a starting quarterback,
millions upon millions.
Millions upon millions.
Oh yeah. Somebody in chat will probably be able to tell me. I forget how much. That my boy Andrew Luck just made on his last contract, but it was just several $1 million.
So it's lots and lots and lots of money. And I'm just assuming that Canada has it's not too far off. As Crypty said, bad ones make 17 mil.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of bloody money. Meanwhile, the political right is raging, with Twitter alight with outrage at the unpatriotic withdrawal. Arizona's Governor Doug Ducey has rescinded a $1 million grant for Nike to build a new factory. Senator Ted Cruz has said he will never buy a pair of the company's trainers ever again. The Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell declared, if we're in a political environment where the American flag has become controversial to Americans, I think we've got a problem. Brands specialist Rita Clifton said America is a hotbed of identity clashes, and politics is really forcing people to self-declare on where they are. Nike is a company that is used to controversy. However, Richard Hay, managing director at the consultancy Brand Finance, reckons that the Air Max 1 Quick Strike 4th of July trainers, Nike seems to have put their foot in it. Oh, well done, a pun. One of Nike's most recent provocative acts was to choose Mr. Kaepernick to celebrate 30 years of the company's "Just Do It" slogan. The sportsman famously knelt. Yeah, okay, we know what he did. He prompted a sometimes literally fiery backlash by Summers. Don't hashtag burn your Nikes. I don't recommend that you burn your own property. You did spend money on it. And Nikes are not cheap things.
No, they're not. No, they're not. And it really, I've seen what I believe to be a picture of them, and it's just a small flag on the back of the heel of the tennis shoe. That's all it was. I'm like, Jiminy Christmas. That's what you're upset about?
Yeah, this is very silly. I wouldn't go. I think it is a little bit, snowflakey to go, I'm never buying these shoes again.
Yeah,
I think that's a bit silly.
and
I mean,
people
it's your choice and everything if you don't ever want to use the product again because of the current, choices, but spurging out about it isn't a good look either. I mean, call them out for it, criticize them, but
and people don't take the Nikes that you've already bought and go burn them in some kind of protest, because the only thing you're doing is hurting yourself. You paid for those. Nike's already been paid for them. You're not hurting them in the least.
J Kid, what's going on, man? Happy Independence to you, brother. And here he says, all I wear is Nike. Oh, still going to buy them. Yeah, it's pretty much the same.
Yeah, whatever's a good brand. But I just feel that it was a bad move on Nike's part. Like I said, the last thing you want to do is start giving in to people about what you're allowed to make and what you're not allowed to make, because then they start expecting it. And
social justice warriors get on my tits with things like this.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are real issues with companies like Nike and Adidas and so on and so forth that they could be protesting and complaining about, even on social media. There's a little something called globalization. Mm-hmm. And that's when these big corporate entities like Nike, outsource the labor to places like India, where they have child labor and they have 9-year-old girls and boys in factories working for 9 pence an hour to make these shoes, working in horrific conditions.
Yeah, exactly.
Those are real problems. Those are real issues right there.
Yeah.
But instead of whinging about that, having actual complaints about serious issues, because that affects everybody, really. That's outsourcing jobs for a start. That hurts the economy in your own goddamn country. And it's, well, there are children that could be in school in places like India, and those countries are having trouble developing because of things like that,
Yeah.
I'm just over it, shaking my head and my arms around like, come on.
Seriously, as I already said, if you're going to look at a symbol, which is much more known as being a symbol of the birth of our nation than anything else, and you're going to look at it, what you see as slavery, you got an issue. Are you kidding me? Are you going to be walking down the street, you see that little bitty tiny flag on the back of someone's shoes, and you're going to have PTSD? Oh, I just can't go on. I'm so triggered. Oh. Please, people, come on.
Yeah, there are much, like, if you want to have beef with Nike or whoever else, I know you guys pronounce it Adidas, I pronounce it Adidas. Some people in the UK pronounce it Adidas. It depends on what part of the country you're from. That there are serious issues right there, and you're complaining about there being a little itty bitty flag on a pair of shoes that you have no obligation to go out and purchase.
Yeah, and honestly, from the picture that I saw of them, the flag on the back is so small that you're really not going to be able to tell what it is. You could probably see that it's an American flag of some sort.
Oh, J Kid agrees with me, by the way.
Yeah,
I said that earlier, mate.
You're probably going to be able to tell it's an American flag of some sort, but not what kind of, because it's just too small unless you get right up on top of them.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, people wearing them are going to have like jeans or trousers on that probably end up covering the back anyway.
Probably.
Yeah,
I tend to wear my jeans that long. I certainly don't like what we call high water jeans. They're above my ankles because it just looks dumb. But
I have to wonder how much Nike lost. Because presumably they had the trainers made, and they would have had a lot of them made.
Yeah, well, there had to be some amount lost because there would have been research, market research,
Yeah,
testing it in different
D-
markets and everything,
design and
and all of that would have been done and all that money spent before it was even announced that they were going to do them.
J Kid is definitely my brother. Like, he's basically he's saying all the things that I said earlier. we're very similar, J Kid. I was like, yeah, I wouldn't buy them because they're ugly. They're like friggin' moon boots. They're not my sort of thing. I prefer. I mean, these aren't high top, but I actually know they are high tops, aren't they? Are they high tops? Do they count as high tops? I prefer low tops anyway.
I'm more a fan of a high top because I've always historically had weak ankles, so they do help support my ankles.
Mm. But yeah, I think that it's just stupid. If you're getting offended over your country's original flag, then
Yeah, basically what they're saying, and I wouldn't be surprised to hear this come out of Colin's mouth, because he kind of proved it with the whole Alden kneeling and stuff, was he's just offended at the American flag, period.
Yeah, I think this would have happened regardless.
Well,
If you use the first flag or the
Yeah.
latest one, you know.
I got news for you. If you're offended by the American flag, you're in the wrong place, guy, because this ain't like other places. We're not afraid to fly our flags.
Mm-hmm.
And we fly them all year round.
That's right. Yeah, I agree with Michael. Colin just hates America.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to give me your money, your house, and your citizenship, I'll take it.
Yeah. He hates the country that gave him the opportunity to become rich. Because
Yeah, I see you functional. I see you functional. Don't think I don't. This is why I'm your supervisor. I'm gonna come out there and put some baby powder on my hand and smack you.
Yeah.
Oh God, there is another article, but before I get to it, I want to go for Tinkle. Hey, you're now putting bets on when Bear has to go, Tinkle.
No, and when you get back, I gotta go. So,
Roger that.
So hey, how you doing, chat? Hope everybody's doing good, and I hope your fourth is. I know I've already said that, but I do. I hope your fourth is doing well. Yeah, I agree, Faithless. That fro of his is a little off the charts, little much. I haven't seen a fro that size since the 70s. Let's see. This is James R. Wood. At least in Wales, they fly the Welsh flag without thinking they will be called racist, or they might not think that. Michael Weiner says, how's my day been so far? Not bad. I had a lot of trouble sleeping last night, and I got up for a little bit, tried to go back to bed, still couldn't get back to sleep, but I finally did fall asleep for a couple hours shortly before the stream, so I'm feeling a lot better than I was. Having trouble with nightmares last night. That happens to me sometimes. Joel Brown, I think I answered that. Yeah, how am I? I'm not doing too bad. Dangerous Freedom. Easy withdrew a multi-million-dollar contract with a Nike plant here in Arizona. Yeah, I did see that, and that is well within their right. Let's see. Faceless, he even uses his hair to signal his blackness. I think he's compensating for something. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, your turn.
My turn, and I will be right back, folks.
Cool beans, cool beans. What's going on, everybody? Hope you're good. Hope all the Americans are having a great day today. And what you guys get up to? Are you having barbecues? I hope so. And fireworks. 6.4. Shit. Goddamn. I have okay. I actually have some more news to go through. Okay. And beer, of course, beer, booze, glorious booze. James says he just got back from Wales. That's a good thing. Welcome back to civilization, mate. I'm glad you made it out alive. You know, he didn't get eaten, you know, consumed by the Welsh. I'm very happy to hear that. They are calling for another one here in the next 15 minutes. Fireworks have been happening around here for a couple of days now. Kind of over them already, especially when they continue to wake me up. Yeah, I feel you there, dude. I feel you there. It's very similar when it gets around to, like, obviously because we have bonfire night, Guy Fawkes night, the build up to Halloween, fireworks going off every night, and then of course fires, and then it goes on to the next week, up until the 5th, and then goes on for a few more days after that as well. No need to be so English about the Welsh. Well, the Welsh are a problem, and going into no man's land, aka Wales. It's dangerous. It's dangerous, man. Would be super duper dangerous. I hope you guys enjoyed my Lord Bear Happy Independence Day video. It's only short, it's only like 2 minutes, 38 seconds. Oh, am I a problem? I am a problem, am I, Bear? Well, you said it, dude. You said that you're a problem, not me. Bonfire night lasts like 2 weeks. It's a pain in the ass. Yes, it is. Yeah. It doesn't help because there's Halloween, right next to it as well. It's crazy. The Scottish will rise again. No, they won't. No, they won't. Beer on a steak would be baller AF, but filthy turncoat, so no celebrations. Oh, okay. No, you said it's because you said the Welsh are a problem. You just said it as well, dude. You just said the Welsh are a problem.
And I'm back.
He's back.
Connor, you and the Scottish will rise again. Hey, I'm down for that because in case you didn't know, most hillbillies, rednecks, can trace their lineage back to Scottish roots. Many Scot and Irish fought on our side during the Revolutionary War.
Of course they did. Because everybody hates the English. So, I mean, that's pretty much like Scotland's shtick, isn't it?
Yeah.
I hate the English.
So yeah, there quite a few of it. Most of us can trace our roots back to Scottish or both Irish roots. I have both in my lineage, actually.
That explains a lot, really. It explains a lot.
Our individuality and our FU nature.
Well, at least you don't wear skirts. I'll give you that.
Who do you think taught us rednecks how to make shine?
Well, it weren't the Scots. It's probably the Paddies. The Paddies wear skirts as well,
Mm-hmm.
The music's good, though.
No, I'm not ginger, honey monster. I'm really not. Don't have the hair color, nor do I have the skin pallor. My skin actually, even if I haven't been out in the sun very long, has a slight olive tone to it.
Mm.
I'm not.
Kilts are not skirts. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. It's the same shape as a skirt. It's a skirt,
Yeah.
dude. Like
it looks like a skirt, but I mean, nobody pulls it off like the Scottish do, I guess.
Put some pants on.
Functional. That's just what a soulless ginger would say. Oh, come on, you guys have seen me.
Big balls don't fit in trousers. Well, you say that you got big balls, but your country is dominated by social justice. Like, it's worse than the rest of the UK on its own.
Honey monster, I don't have just Scottish and Irish in my ancestry. There's also Jewish and American Indian and probably a lot of other things as well. So I'm a typical American. I mean, America's a melting pot, and so many of us Americans have a very multicultural background,
Mm-hmm. Mr. Dax brings up a fantastic point. Yeah. If you wear pants, the sheep would hear the zipper, so I guess it's all about stealth. I have more news.
You have more news. Okay.
Yeah. If you wanted to go through it.
Yeah.
Independence Day, Donald Trump's show of a lifetime facing thunderstorm threat. So basically it's mentioning the fact the weather might turn. It doesn't really have anything about outrage in the article. Just it's really just about weather. But it has pictures of tanks in it, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah, tanks are cool.
Mm. And obviously that's not America. That's France. How dare you?
How could you confuse America for France?
Oh, it's mentioning the Macron and the
Well,
parade that was put on not so
because
long ago
we
over there.
Americans say "f you," and those French frogs over there says, "I quit. I
Mm.
surrender."
Yeah, we turn up in bloody fishing boats and they crap themselves. Soft prick. But yeah, do we know if the weather's going to be good for the parade? Has the parade started yet? Or
I don't think it starts till a little later this afternoon. I'm not real sure of the start time.
Mm.
I'm not
Well,
real sure.
I hope the weather is good.
The last report I seen from the East Coast was that it was a pretty day over there.
Yeah, I did hear some bits and bobs. People were complaining about the parade due to the cost. I mean, it's any excuse really to have a crack at Trump. Um, yeah. The French run from soap too. Yeah, but they run towards cheese. Oh, the
Yeah,
parade is done. Oh, good.
is it?
Presumably the weather
Okay.
remained.
There is one thing that I wanted to cover, and it kind of goes back to something we've been talking about for a couple of episodes of Redneck Radio now.
Okay.
And it has a little to do with our southern border. And like I mentioned, I think it was last episode when I was a younger man. Back in the '70s and '80s, and
1870s.
yeah, the '80s. It was an issue then, but the big complaint was, well, they're taking our jobs, they're taking
the
our
good
welfare.
jobs.
Yeah, they're taking our welfare. They're sucking off the government teat, and they're not even citizens.
Mm.
Thing, which was a valid argument. But thanks to 9/11, there's a whole nother angle that has to get added in there as well. And in fact, it's probably the most important reason at this point that we have to be careful of, particularly our southern border. Um, you all know that I watch a lot of documentaries and stuff. That's just what I do. I love to watch documentaries. And I was watching a new one that's been on Netflix that I think is called "Close Calls of Terrorism." I believe is the title of it. Something
Yeah.
similar to that. It's actually very interesting. The first episode was a little slow. I had a little trouble slogging through that, but after that, it picks up. And what it basically is each episode they focus on a potential terrorist event that was thwarted by the authorities that we, as the average person, probably didn't hear anything about, or not much if we did hear
Mm.
about. And goes into what goes to catch those sort of people and whatnot. And one of the episodes I watched last night was there was an Iranian, it was an American born Iranian. It was a plot in 2011, so pretty recent history,
Hmm.
and was looking to hire someone to kill the Saudi diplomat to America, the ambassador
Yeah.
to America. And their plot was to blow him up at his favorite restaurant, which was in downtown Washington, D.C., with a bomb, which probably would have had casualties of 100 to 150 people, and they didn't care. In fact, there was a phone call, an actually recorded phone call that they played on it that said, "We don't care. F them." That's what they said.
Wow.
Guess where he was trying to hire the hitman from?
Go on.
Mexico.
Of course.
Yeah. He thought he was talking to a member of one of the big cartels down there. What he didn't know, he was talking to a DEA agent.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Yeah, of course, they played the whole thing out to see if they could, who all they could catch in the web, other than this guy, and what information they could get out of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, folks, that threat is very real. Uh, I hate that the camps at the South are overcrowded. I do. I hate that. I'm not inhuman. But what else you're going to do? You've got to vet these people and make sure that they're not a threat to
Yeah.
our nation. and you can thank 9/11 for that. You know, the world has changed, and we can't just assume that everybody is up for good intentions.
Yeah.
You know. But anyway, I found that very. If you're interested in that sort of thing, it's on Netflix now. I think it's like I said. I think the title is "Close Calls and Terrorism." Interesting little series of documentaries. But I saw that instance. I said, that's just what I've been talking about on my channel. There you go.
Everyone's saying dictator James. I do like a documentary and stuff. And speaking of which, I think it's about that time where you start your own documentary in the middle of a stream and start giving us all a grand old history lesson.
About what?
About 1776.
1776. Well, I don't know what else I could talk about today. At least the Americans wouldn't in the chat probably wouldn't know, because they may not teach history like they want to, but I think that the Revolutionary War is still heavily taught. I think. I'm not sure. Been a long time since I've been in school, folks. I graduated high school in 1978. Been a long time.
What was the I know it's a little bit off topic here. The battle that we were talking about, where you guys fought against the Japanese, the really, really big one, where
Okinawa?
it was Okinawa. I need to remember that.
Where they were dug into all the tunnels.
Yeah, the really, really, really bad one. There's got to be a documentary somewhere that I can watch on that.
Yeah.
Other than Band of Brothers or something,
There's an excellent episode of that, and it's in a place that you wouldn't. It's called. There's a series called Nazi Mega Weapons, and I believe it's either the last or next to last episode of the series.
Okay.
And it's just on that battle, and it's a very excellent accounting of the battle. So, that is it's on American Netflix anyway. I know you and I have run across that what's on American Netflix isn't necessarily on British Netflix. So
yeah, tell me about it, dude. It's a joke. Hate it.
Wikipedia
Really annoys me.
Wikipedia snippets says, I remember the bicentennial where Carter was president. Absolutely, I remember the bicentennial. I was thinking about that earlier. That was a big deal. That's the biggest 4th of July celebration I've ever witnessed. I was 16 years old at the time. They had all these old sailboats all out in the harbors, and they even minted bicentennial coins. They were quarters and whatnot. They were real money. But the images on them were slightly different because they were bicentennial, and it was a huge deal, big deal. Yeah, I was just thinking about the bicentennial celebration just a little earlier. Afraid I'm too old. I'm not going to make the tricentennial. Probably not. Seeing as how I would be a little long in the tooth by that point.
JK says he has nothing to do with your balls.
No, and we try to keep it that way. We're not that kind of family.
Michael says you did at one point.
Yeah. At some point, sort of, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was there when he was born. Got punched, but I was there when he was born.
Yeah, I remember you saying.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't really have any other news to go through. I'm sure I could find some, but it's all going to be the same crap. Oh, it's racist this because slavery, racist this because slavery, sexist this because mankind, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. What did you want to kind of discuss and go through today, mate? Because it's your day, I'm the Brit here.
I just wanted to focus on what day it is and the good side of it, and particularly how annoying it is to everybody else that we're like this.
He's going to sit here giggling about it.
Yeah, We do know that we annoy you. We do, and by you I mean in general. I
As
know
it
I
doesn't annoy me.
uh, we know that it's annoying to a lot of people out there because they don't get our patriotism, and you know what? We don't care. Most of us revel in it.
Yeah, I wish we had more of that, to be honest.
Yeah,
The only time that Brits tend to get really patriotic is when it's like the Queen's birthday or like a new royal. Like it usually has something to do with the royals. You know,
yeah.
we don't really get patriotic for anything else, to be honest.
And it as odd as it is for a lot of you all to see our patriotism. It's just as odd for us to look out and to see your lack of.
Mm,
That's just foreign and odd to us. That nobody flies flags and all that kind of stuff.
but people do. It's just nowhere near on the same scale.
Yeah,
You know. Plus, we're technically what no, it's not a federation, a federal group of nations, aren't we? I don't know if that's the right term.
yeah,
Whereas America is obviously a 50 states
yeah,
and a country.
yeah. And anywhere that you see at almost any government office, unless it's just a federal office, you will see both flags. You'll see the flag of the United States and the state flag of what a particular state they're in
Mm,
will fly just below it. And sometimes you'll even see the city flag because our city does have a flag too.
yeah.
Yeah, it's strange for us. I mean, here I live in a neighborhood where, like I said, I can look out any window and of the house and see an American flag and at least one Confederate flag. In fact, I'm looking at it right now.
I quite like the Confederate flag. I know a lot of people tend to get bent out of shape over it. I'm just like, nah.
Yeah,
It's a
well,
good looking flag.
those are the people that look at that and only see the slavery issue, and slavery certainly was an issue. It was
That's the
one of
point.
the
Let's talk about the Civil War.
well, it certainly was one of the issues of the Civil War, but it wasn't the issue of the Civil War.
Mm. States' rights.
It was state rights, and the North fought to keep the Union together.
Mm-hmm.
Um, wasn't about slavery. In fact, Lincoln didn't have any idea to free the slaves until shortly before he wrote the Emancipation Proclamation. You know,
Mm.
he kind of had an epiphany and said, "This is what I'm going to do." And when he did, it ticked off some of the northern states because they said, "Hey, this is not what we signed up for."
Mm-hmm.
Because believe it or not, there was at least two, maybe it was three, I forget at the moment, northern states that still had slavery
Yeah.
at the time. So yeah, they look at the yes, Sean W. The Gadsden flag. They look at that and all they see is slavery, and the war was about so much more than that. That was just one of the issues.
Mm. It reminds me, I don't know whether you ever watched True Blood, the vampire TV show with Anna Paquin from years back now. It's not
Mm,
too old.
I don't know.
Well, Suki, the
Oh yeah,
character. Yeah,
absolutely.
Suki Stackhouse.
True Blood.
Yeah, True Blood, yeah.
Yeah, I watched all of them.
Oh, you remember her grandmother, right? And how
Yeah.
they used to kind of have like those Confederate meetings
Hmm.
and to celebrate the glorious dead. And I remember an episode where somebody kicked off at the group and her grandmother because they referred to them as the glorious dead, and they were like glorifying it and stuff. And and now that I kind of look back, it kind of feels like a little bit of social justice
Yeah, a little
may
bit,
be inserted in there.
but it's certainly not misrepresented because you do get that. You want to start an argument, especially on Twitter, just go onto Twitter and say what I just said,
Mhm.
and watch the watch the fallout. Watch it get crazy. Wasn't too long after I got on Twitter, uh, I posted a series of old flags to see if people knew what they were, and one of them was the Gadsden flag, knowing that people were going to say, and I call it myself the Confederate flag because that's what people know it as, but it's not really. The Confederacy actually had several different flags that they flew under, but the
Mm,
Gadsden is the most recognized.
yeah.
And oh my gosh, what is that real left idiot movie Bob?
Movie
Uh,
Bob.
yeah, that's what he calls himself, movie Bob. I didn't know who he was at the time. I had no idea, but somehow he found the thread and come in there and was screaming how we were all racist and everything.
YouTuber.
Yeah. And all I was asking was, do you know what this is? That's it.
I take it that he wasn't amused by that and proceeded to spurg out.
Oh no, how many times do I got to tell you this? Okay, buddy, bye.
A big fat YouTuber.
Yeah.
That doesn't narrow it down either, Viper.
Yeah, so apparently I think she knows who I'm talking about. And I mean, he's so
Let's have
left
a
that
look at him.
even some of the other left, even some of the Brain Trust.
What's his
don't
name?
know.
Movie Bob.
Yeah, that's what he goes by on Twitter anyway.
Uh,
I've never watched his YouTube stuff, but
I typed it into YouTube and I've got the Escapist YouTube channel.
yeah.
Oh wait, here we go. Movie Bob, 144,000 subscribers. He's fat. He's got a neck. He's got a beard. I'm just gonna call it a neck beard.
He's so far left that even some of Christy Winter's Brain Trust won't hang with him.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. Let's have a look at his videos. He seems. He was in favor of James Gunn. It's not uploaded for 4
like
weeks.
I said at the time, I had no idea who he was. I was pretty new to Twitter at the time, and I don't troll the other side of YouTube.
I'm not really seeing much in the way of social justice on his channel. Maybe it's just for his Twitter. There are some channels that are like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's a character. But yeah, you want to. It's you were talking about the True Blood thing. It wouldn't be totally out of the realm of possibility or uncharacteristic because it's to this day, 150 years later, it's still a hot button topic.
It's part of history.
It is. It's a part of history, but people.
It's not the
don't see
Nazi flag people are bloody waving around, is it? You know.
Yeah. You
It's-
know, people don't see it that way. I mean, just for an example of it, look at the big kerfuffle we've had over Confederate figure statues in the South being torn down.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not really a glorification, it's a representation of history.
Yeah.
A part of your history, you know?
Here's a fun fact. We just got through Memorial Day not long ago, and you know how I feel about Memorial Day. Very respectful of it. It's my second favorite holiday. And you know how it was started in this country? It was started by a man to memorialize people that died on both sides of the Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
Shortly after the war ended. So.
It makes me laugh a bit, really, because it's like, oh, I could imagine the counter arguments like, oh, then maybe the Nazis should still wave the old Nazi, well, the Germans should have wave the old Nazi flag and have statues of Hitler. I said, no, because the Confederacy, as you say, wasn't a representation of white supremacy. Yeah. It wasn't a representation of slavery. You know. Whereas the Nazi flag was a representation of a, you know, totalitarian, psychopathic, genocidal people that wanted to eugenics the fucking world into a white, blonde hair, blue-eyed master race of people. Then they were willing to do anything to achieve that, you know? fairly sure the
And
Confederacy wasn't like that.
like I say, slavery absolutely was one of the issues, but just one of the issues. It wasn't the main issue
Hmm.
of the war. For me to say that it wasn't a part of it would be just as stupid as saying that's all that it was about, because it wasn't. It was an issue with it, but I think it was more on and for some people it was a racist thing, absolutely. But I think it was more an economical thing, because if you removed at the time, if you removed slavery from the South, that hurt them economically. There was nobody to work the fields,
Hmm.
and that's what they were looking at. Uh, was it right? No, of course it wasn't right. Slavery was a terrible institution, and it should have never existed, but it did. You know, it did
Yeah,
exist, and to forget history and not want to talk about it and claim, is just ridiculous.
yeah. We don't have the same kind of attitude towards the Roman Empire, do we?
Right.
And they enslaved everybody. It didn't really matter what your race was. They enslaved everybody.
Yeah.
It's an ancient thing. It's been around for a long time. It's still very much present in the current day.
And in
Um,
all honesty, it probably would have ended in and of itself very shortly, because it wasn't too long after that you come up with things like the cotton gin, and farming started becoming more industrialized,
mm,
with machinery and so forth to help you do the job that human beings used to do. Um, so it probably would have died on its own very shortly,
yeah,
given some time.
yeah, most likely. Um, biggest dickus, yeah. Yeah, those who forget the past are doomed to repeat it. These lefties always spoken out about slavery, but I don't see them ever complaining about, real world, current day slavery.
Yeah, and it
Like,
does still exist today in certain parts of the world. Absolutely does.
yeah, the Arabs, fairly sure they have slaves,
Yeah.
black slaves as well, Africans.
Funny that, because the Arabs were a big player in America's slavery,
Hmm.
in obtaining those slaves. So they've been at it for a really long time.
Yeah, they're still going now in some of their countries.
Mhm.
It's like they complain about racism and stuff. Well, like Arabs over in that part of the world do not like black people. It's well known that that's the case, and they're treated like crap over there. That's hence why there's so many slaves, black slaves,
and
over that
and
part of the world.
and yes, Jedi Ghost Player, I do agree. There would be that too. That Britain and France, who had already done away with slavery at that point, would have probably pressured them. Look, we're not
Yeah.
going to buy your cotton until you get rid of this institution.
Mm. Yeah, we were working hard to dismantle it.
Because at that point, the North had pretty much tried to boycott their cotton, uh, and it wasn't hurting the North in the least, because the North was industrialized by that point.
Mm.
But
Yeah. What was it? It's 9:15. Maybe we should take 15 minutes of questions. What do you think?
sure, I'm down for that.
Yeah. I don't think it'd be tasteful to talk about any of the typical cancer that we see because it's Independence Day, and I think that all the Americans should be having a nice and happy time.
Well, even when I see it, and I have seen some today, as I said, it's not bothered me. I expect it. You guys, seriously, we know how much the world hates us and how much they think we're ugly Americans and we're obnoxious and everything. And you know what? We don't care. And not caring what everybody thinks is what got us to where we are after 243 years. So bite me.
They're trying to make you care.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Stupid. Stupid.
We've always been a bullheaded, stubborn, don't give a crap lot. And that's exactly what made this country was that attitude. Like, you know, We don't need you. We'll do our own thing over here.
J Kid's blaming me for the dismantling of slavery. Don't blame me, dude. Your own president outlawed it. Like, I mean, we were
Yeah.
working hard to get rid of it, but at the end of the day, your own president dismantled it, not us.
Yeah. And it's not like England outlawed it so much before the America did. It was what, 30 years, something like that.
It wasn't too long. We were very much a part of the problem.
Yeah.
We were very much a part of the problem, and were active. Active in trading slaves.
Yeah, even Canada had slaves. And not many people talk about that. Even Canada had slaves. You know, this social justice capital of the Western Hemisphere. Except that most of them weren't black. They were most Native Americans.
Mm-hmm. I'm fairly certain that we were importing slaves to America when America was still ours.
Oh, absolutely, you were. That's how they got here to start with.
Yeah, then you don't just carried it on like, well, we already started. Let's continue. Where do you think we picked it up from? Yeah, I know. Father like son.
Yep.
Swinging your dicks around. Oh man, I want some food. I'm hungry.
I ate just before the stream. I was pretty hungry then, though.
Yeah, I'm getting a bit peckish now.
Yeah. Up to that point, all I'd had was a chocolate Pop-Tart.
It's not a lot.
No.
It's not a lot at all.
I only ate that so I could take my medicine this morning.
Yeah, I actually do need to have my dinner though. Stop talking about food. No, food, glorious food. It's my right as an American to talk about food.
Yeah, she was mad at me yesterday when I was talking about having Southern fried chicken anyway.
I want some Southern fried chicken.
Yeah, and this wasn't from a chain either. This was from a local, which everybody knows it's the local mom and pops that make the best food.
Joel's asking me why I don't make videos on the Young Turks. Also, one of their presenters has his own channel called The Damage Report, which might be interesting for you. I guess whenever I go to make videos, it never comes to mind. But I will try to remember, Joel. I always forget about the Young Turks. Oh, like as a source of cancer on the internet. I just forget about them, dude. I would do my best to remember and then see if I can find some content of theirs to rip into. Because it could be fun.
T says, "You guys going to be running around pointing flashlights in the air?" No. We're kind of probably going to be waiting until very late tonight until the fireworks stop, so we might be able to get some sleep. But those will probably go on to well far into the night in this neighborhood, anyway.
You are right, Joe. I should write it down. I should add it to my list of. In fact, no, I'm pretty sure it's already in my list of sources for cancer, but I just don't check it anymore. I guess I've actually got 2 videos that should both be coming out. I think I might release one of them after the stream, actually. Yeah. I made 2 videos yesterday, responding to 2 of BBC Three's No Offense But series. One's on knife crime, one's on culture. And one of them never got hit by the bot. So I might just release one of them after the stream.
Yeah, I gotta probably. Normally, I would start tonight on the voice acting of for Redneck track. But being it's the 4th, the wife doesn't work tonight, and I talk kind of loud, so I keep her up when I try to record at night. So
yeah,
I'll probably wait till tomorrow night to do that.
Good call. Good call. Oh, good. Not the English language one. No, it's no offense, but then there's the conversation about knife crime, and then there's a conversation about culture. That's why I was complaining about having to learn about Gambia and Senegal yesterday. kind of went off on a bit of a tangent in that one, but that one probably won't get monetized. And I was hoping that the culture one would be the first one to go out, but I think it'd be the knife crime video first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll just have a look,
Michael
really.
Weiner, like I just mentioned, I'll probably start doing the voiceovers tomorrow night. I have to wait till at night to record so that nobody's in the house. And also, that means that my noisy air conditioner is less likely to be running constantly. My mic picks that up.
Mm.
Uh, but yeah, be recording that. I've been looking into future stuff. In fact, I was on uh, Star Trek Online yesterday, playing a Romulan character, just trying that out, see what was out from that side, and got invited into a fleet. You know, on every MMO has their
Guilds.
guilds. Well, on Star Trek, it's called fleets. You know,
Yeah.
you're part of the fleet. Usually, I turn them down. I went ahead and accepted this one because this individual didn't just, you know, I hate it. You're in your inventory trying to figure something out or trying to figure out which skills to take next, and boom, out of nowhere comes this. So and so has invited you to the, you know, such and such fleet.
Yeah.
You know, I hate that. They don't. This person actually seen me and had a conversation with me,
Oh, good.
you know, and said, "Hey," and asked permission. Would it be okay if I sent you a invite?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, "Well, I probably won't be playing this character very much. I'm not sure you want me in your fleet." She goes, "That's okay. It's all right." She says, we're friendly. And tell you what, this is, how about this? I'll send you an invite. If you don't like it, you can leave. No hard feelings. Well, okay.
Yeah. You don't usually get that.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys don't see that part on Billy Joe Bob because I have got the invites on him. I just usually cut those out. Like, get out of
Mm.
here. But yeah, that's the folks. If you play MMOs, that's the way you invite somebody to your guild, fleet, or whatever the particular game calls it. Talk to
Mm.
the person first.
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Oh, damn. There goes the neighborhood. Michael steps out to feed the cat. Main reason, Bear. That's the one I'm working on.
Yeah.
Oh, what? Which one are you working on? Oh, the English language one. Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Um, yeah. I thought I'd do
Wikipedia
something else.
snippet says she likes the actress that played Tasha Yar better as a Romulan. Absolutely, and you may know this. I don't know if you play it, but she's actually on this. She plays the Empress, the Romulan Empress, and a lot of the people from the different Star Trek shows do voice for this game. It's yeah.
Hmm.
J Kids says, no, screw that, blind invites for the win, nothing better. And I know better than that because he's just like me. Like, no, get out of here.
Oh, more questions, guys. More questions. I'm really hungry. I don't know what I should eat. I'll text the missus. I'll just text her food. Where is she? There she is.
Yeah,
Food.
nothing makes you feel more wanted and better about yourself than a blind invite, right?
Mm.
And nothing makes you feel like that particular guild is a thriving and up guild if they're sending out blind invites to anybody that runs by, right?
Monkeys just called out hi, I think, on Real on Twitter.
Oh, what did are they?
I think it's a bit of a joke, but Real said every single popular libertarian girl on Twitter is a dude in real life. You can't convince me otherwise. The monkey quote tweeted him saying, "This is a sad way to ask for nudes." Get him,
Yeah,
get him, monkey.
yeah. There's still a few people I'm just on the edge of unfollowing over that whole Andy No thing, and I'm not going to drag that back up. I don't want to talk about it now, but just there are still some people that my hand's been hovering over the unfollow button.
Yeah. Michael's asking me when do I think I'll set up a stream to do a bit of gaming. I don't know. When I get the itch to play, I mean, I've got games installed on my desktop that I want to play. It's just I need to break through the barrier that I guess that has been there for a couple months now. I wish I could explain it to you, but I can't. I was just seeing something on Twitter. I'll stop when my little boy wants to stop. Riona O'Connor says it's no big deal that she's feeding her 4-year-old and wants to help normalize breastfeeding and natural term weaning. Woman, there is a time when you should start weaning your kid off your titties.
Yeah, the kid was what, 4?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
he should have been weaned like at least 2 years before. At least.
Yeah.
We usually broke our kids from the bottle, broke them from the bottle at about 18 months.
Yeah.
Atheist Icon asks if I join him on World War Z. I don't have the game, and I'm poor, so I can't. But if I did, maybe.
Same Viper, same Game of Thrones flashbacks. You know what freaks me out is that I've been to Comic-Con and they had the Game of Thrones cast there, and they had, and I'll always forget her character's name, but you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The Lady of the Veil and the actor who plays her son, and they were sat next to each other behind the tables at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And I saw them and I was like, oh no.
That's exactly what I thought of when I first seen that on Twitter about this woman we're talking about.
Yeah.
Was
like,
that
no?
Yeah, that.
I was like, I am not going over there to get their autographs.
Just a little too creepy.
But Vanilla Bear did get James Cosmo's autograph. And I got to shake his hand, and so did Vanilla Bear. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, James Cosmo, it was the original commander of the Night's Watch. Yeah. I saw someone responding with a Little Britain clip of the grown man wanting his mum to eat. Oh, okay. Yeah, the Lord of the Eyrie. That's it. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty horrific. Yeah, that's it. Lord Commander Mormont. Yeah. Got huge hands, that guy. Got a huge head as well. I'm hungry, Bloodwing. Will you feed me? You send me over some Taco Bell and some White Castle.
I don't know if they're open today. They might be. Some of the restaurants are open today.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of them are. But we're getting down to where we're almost at the end of it. So if you've got any questions, get them in quick, guys.
Let's make him fly, mummy.
Yeah, let's make him fly. Atheist Icon, I'm sorry, I'm probably being a boomer here, but L4D2, I don't understand.
Really, with Game of Thrones, they should have had an extra 2 seasons to finish it properly, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't, like I said, I haven't watched. I'm way behind.
Yeah.
Left 4 Dead 2, J-Kid, thank you. Yeah, I should have known that. My brain's just not functioning on that level right now. Actually was watching some gameplay of Left 4 Dead 2 just the other day. But yeah, and he's right. I do. I love those games. If those are great games if all you want to do is just mindlessly shoot stuff. And I like the fact that they're made in the style of like you're in a movie. That's what it's like. So yeah, they're definitely worth a play. Oh well, we're at the end of it.
We're at the end of it.
Yeah. So Bear gets to go eat, and the rest of us get to go enjoy what's left of our 4th of July celebrations. Thank you, chat, for taking time out of your 4th of July, which I'm sure is busy, and to be here with us and check it out. Support the stream. Thank you to those that were able to go a little further and give a little bit of money to the old man. Do appreciate that. Bear, thank you as always. And
No problem, mate.
anything you want to give a particular shout out to?
Yeah, I just threw the link to my latest video on RA Bear, BBC Three response on knife crime. Go check that out, guys, and I will get you the link to the latest Lord Bear video. It's only short, like say like 2 minutes and 38 seconds. Just give me a wee second to grab it.
Yeah,
It's
it's
Lord
worth.
Bear's Happy Independence Day message for you all. So go give that a watch, guys. I know how you guys enjoy Lord Bear as well.
Yeah, it's well worth it. I watched it and I laughed.
So there you go, folks. There you go. Go check that
Yeah,
out. And
yeah,
drop a like on the stream before you bounce out, folks.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, please. But again, thanks everybody, and happy 4th of July. Go enjoy yourselves, people. You know,
Be safe.
go outside and grill something and watch the fireworks and all the things that we do on this day. But until then, get out of my yard.
Bye, guys.